Game journals are seething!
Harmon, there is no need to yell like that. When your mic is that trash, yelling is not going to help it.
You know, we have seen some of the early day one pre-release Switch 2 coverage from some prominent game journalists.
Like your favorite person, Dreamcast guy? Oh yeah, they're so credible.
And they're not happy. They're doing everything they possibly can to perpetuate certain narratives, you know.
I mean, some of the narratives do seem true. Like, I've been hearing that this is nothing more than a Switch Pro, not really a next-gen console. And honestly, after hearing what I've been hearing about Mario Kart World, I kind of have to agree it might be.
This idea that like, Mario Kart World's open world is empty and there's nothing to do.
I mean, we didn't really have to wait to find that one out. You were able to tell in the trailers and the directs.
Like, they're really doing this song and dance. It's like they're like,
well, Harmon, if it's not true, why don't you show us? We all know that you got a Switch 2, and we all know that you bought Mario Kart World, or were you not able to get your pre-order in?
Scrolling through Reddit, like trying to find like something they could hold against this game, like,
Yeah, I'm almost never on Reddit, Harmon, and I've been hearing about it on YouTube, so it's not just Reddit you're hearing it from.
We'll just say the same thing that people were saying 2 months ago.
Well, if anybody watched the trailer and the direct, you were able to see that Mario Kart's open world was going to be barren.
So that people take that seriously. You know, it's like the brothership thing all over again.
Well, Harmon, even some of your own brethren that are like the poster boys for Nintendo even said that brothership wasn't that good.
Right? You know, they released this statement, and the only people who are defending them are people who had like an agenda, who wanted to like downplay the game anyway.
No, that's not true. There were some people that generally do enjoy giving good reviews. Now, I will agree with you that Dreamcast guy probably did want to downplay this game. You know, he sat there and talked nothing but crap, never said nothing good. He was totally not interested in that system, and then threw a fit he couldn't get a pre-order in. Now he's sitting there saying, oh, I regret buying it. What do you expect? When you're not excited to buy something, that's what's going to happen.
You know, that's the reality of IGN's coverage of Mario Kart World. Nobody cares.
All IGN said that it was that the free roam was repetitive, it was time consuming, it wasn't really that fun. And the unlockables you get for doing the P-switches are only a sticker. Honestly, for all the costumes of the characters, they should have hit them behind the P-switches, because at least that would have gave some type of excitement to get behind.
Except those who want to like weaponize IGN against Nintendo fans. And I suppose,
Harmon, after that abomination of a review with Dragon Age the Veilguard, a lot of people do not take IGN seriously. Some may do. I have some subscribers, okay? Don't come at me, guys. But I got some of you guys that do enjoy IGN, but we cannot deny that sometimes IGN does get things wrong.
This is why Nintendo didn't give you guys day one units to begin with, because they knew this would happen.
Bullshit, Harmon. They didn't give out day one units because they didn't feel like they had to. The console was going to sell regardless if they gave out day one units. It had nothing to do, they were afraid of the journalists. Now, from what I've been hearing about Mario Kart World, yeah, they may have something on that one. If they would have released that with Mario Kart World, I've said this before, I think they are afraid that it would show that game is not worth $80.
You guys have been pulling these stunts for 25 years.
Yes, they've been fairly criticizing Nintendo for 25 years. Harmon, there's no need to yell. We all know that you're not that guy. You don't need to puff out your chest and pretend you're something you're not.
This is nothing new. The only thing that's changed is that more and more people are seeing through your nonsense.
No, you know, you probably would, Harmon, if you would open your eyes up every once in a while.
Okay, I was calling you out in by 2005.
2005, huh? That was a long damn time ago.
You know, like actually no, 2006. You know, when the Wii came out, and so many people were like trying to tell you that like the Wii, it's gonna massively underperform.
I do not remember people saying that. Outside of families, I didn't know very many people that actually liked the Wii.
Compared to the PS3, and what happens? The exact opposite.
Yes, because children and families love that. Go look at their top 10 games of the best-selling games for the Wii. Most of them, I think all of them actually, were multiplayer games that were meant for families.
And like the gaming journalism industry spent the entire generation, trying to like rewrite reality, like,
Harmon, you're the one that does that all the damn time, so what are you complaining about? You literally can't accept the reality of the situation that the PS2 has sold more consoles than the Switch has.
The Wii's more popular, but it only does well among soccer moms who don't actually buy games,
Well, I mean, if you look at the majority of the games sold on the Wii, most of them would have been from soccer moms that would have bought them.
Real hardcore gamers are playing Grand Theft Auto 4 on their PlayStation 3s.
I mean, that was true. I knew quite a few people that were doing that. I don't, if it was Grand Theft Auto 5, I've never played Grand Theft Auto 5. I know, come for me. Eventually, one day, I will play it.
What? The reality of the situation.
That you need to wear a bra? Yes, everybody already knows.
Was so different than what, like, the pop culture, like, what the narrative was, that, like, a lot of people, like, really never processed that Nintendo won that generation.
Yeah, I don't think really anybody cares if they won that generation. Good for you guys. Guess what? We still had fun on our PS3 or Xbox 360, where we got to play the big boy games.
Until recently, when you had people trying to say that, like, Nintendo was more successful back then than they were with the Switch, even though that's, like, observably not.
I would actually agree. The Switch, they were more successful during the Switch than any other time in their history.
People were, like, very adamant on downplaying the Wii at the height of its popularity, and they threw all manner of, like, weird conspiracies at it.
Alright, from what I remember, now, I don't personally know Harmon Smith, but I know some people like him. Honestly, I've never met a fanboy as extreme as he is, but I have met some fanboys in my life, and the ones that did really love the Wii, I remember them saying, oh, yeah, the Wii is so popular, look at this and that, and it's like, yeah, but you have kiddie games. Which was true. There's nothing wrong with that. And the third-party games that it got, they just weren't very good. If you looked at the Madden game, I remember specifically the Madden game that they got on the Wii, it was terrible compared to the PS3 and the 360. So yeah, a lot of people enjoyed the PS3 and the 360 more.
Trying to downplay this successful platform. And we saw that happen all throughout the Wii U and the Switch generations as well.
Well, everybody was correct about the Wii U, Harmon. You just need to accept it.
But with the Switch 2 on the horizon, after, like, situations like Mario and Luigi Brothership, like, gaming journalism can't... This is their last stand, okay?
Harmon, you just need to accept. Between all the great Mario-type RPGs that came out, Brothership was the least good one. Just accept it.
Like, this is their last chance to, like, preserve the Kojima world order and just keep people invested in the PlayStation and Xbox ecosystems.
Harmon, you are spitting nothing but conspiracy theories. I have never heard this from anybody else, only you. There is not this great conspiracy theory, because have you noticed people have been leaving the PlayStation and Xbox? They've been going to the PC. So if anything, if you sat there and said there was a conspiracy theory about making everybody go to PC, that would make a little bit more sense than what you're saying.
Whatever it takes. They'll give Metal Gear Solid 5 like perfect scores because of its like dynamic, open environment.
Well, maybe it deserved it. Now, I've never played the game, so I can't really give an opinion about it if it did deserve it. I seriously doubt it got perfect scores. That, very rarely do games ever get perfect scores here.
And then turn around 10 years later and say that like Mario Kart World is boring and empty. Even though that's
Nah. From what I've been hearing, it's amazing for the first 5 hours. And just after that, it gets boring.
That's obviously not the case, even by looking at like pre-release footage. It's insane.
The pre-release footage showed how barren that game was going to be, Harmon. You're just being delusional.
What's also interesting is seeing how many people like anticipated this and are clowning on IGN. I didn't read the article.
Well, maybe you should have read the article. Maybe you shouldn't have just read the title. Actually read the article for once. And probably the ones that are clowning on them are probably nothing but Nintendo fanboys.
I don't know who wrote it. I don't know what's happening. Like, all I've seen are just people on Twitter just like pointing out the obvious. Like IGN is upset that Nintendo took steps from
Oh, please, Harmon, tell me you're not going to talk about censorship here.
to prevent them from doing like the pre-release damage control they typically do.
Harmon, what you're talking about is censorship, and that's what Nintendo is doing. If for everybody that don't know, now according to Nintendo Prime, I didn't fact check this, I don't 100% know, so this is just a rumor. Allegedly, Nintendo is going to start coming after people that are posting news, like game footage reports, anything like that, on X. They don't want anybody posting on X. They want you to go on their app. And if that's true, that is censorship. For one, it's a First Amendment right to do so. And what they are doing, if they are falsely copyright claiming people, is illegal. That is illegal to do.
Okay, they did it for the Wii. They did it for the Wii U, especially for the Wii U.
Well, if they didn't want that to happen, maybe they... See, you sat there and said they did it for the Wii and they did it for the Wii U. Guess what? The Wii was very successful. So if they did it to the Wii and the Wii U, why wasn't the Wii U successful? Probably because Nintendo made a shitty console.
And they did it for the Switch. You know, like, people weren't willing to admit the Switch was like a phenomenal hit until like well into 2019.
Okay, what's wrong with that? The reason why no one ever really took their handheld seriously, a bunch of people didn't really care about them. Well, that's going to be it for my reaction. He just keeps rambling on and on and on. But if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay vigilant.